how you start in the industry.
When I choose this plastering trade, it wasn't by the choice, it was by the chance.
And what's next?
Build up structure around people, not just around project.
100 people, they got 200
And
people around the people to empower them and build a system in place.
For me, it was about lead by example and showing respect. For us to grow, we need to constantly have a mentality of learning new things.
Is your parents happy with your achievement now?
They're super proud.
A lot of Chinese tradies of the job, they sleep on the side. Not your company, other people's company.
But if you can find yourself a potential to grow within different career path, I would say be persistent with it.
Looking after your people, listen to the pain point from the customer and the staff, and even put everything down in SOP. That's quite amazing. All right, everyone, today I'm gonna interview one of my first 10 customers more than 10 years ago, Lee, who used to work as maybe apprenticeship under someone else, but now look at this factory. Wow, you know, he owns the factory, his own warehouse, and his own team. What's your impression or people's normal impression about a tradie company? You know, very untidy, you know, all the mud, and they not organized. But here's Lee, you know, the businessman. I know him 10 years ago, one of my first 10 customer, plastering business. You think, okay, new migrant, plastering business, all the people from Fujian. All right, but if you look at his company now, managing more than 200 contractors, his own factory here, and his own team, and also there's a manual to manage the business, SOP, job description about every role and the standard, and it's even bilingual. So today I got the privilege to interview Lee, you know, how he, you know, immigrated to Australia and then start as a apprenticeship and now managing 200 people. All right, now Lee, would you mind sharing the story, you know, how you started in the industry and what inspired you, you know, to take your business to this level and what's next?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me here today. Thomas has been a great friend for a long time, and we admire what you do and your company's rapid growth over the years. So it is great to see you here today.
We're only 100 people. They got 200.
And and talk to you about business growth.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was just me and one other guy doing everything. I remember one particular job in the new estate. We were working like 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and still falling behind. We were stressed and tired. And on top of that, we had to juggle between like sending out quotations, order materials, and chasing out payments. And one night I was sitting in my car and finished up an email in the dark. And I thought to myself, this isn't sustainable. At first, I thought growth just meant taking on more jobs. But real shift came when I realized that I couldn't scale myself. And the moment we stopped asking, how can we do more, and start asking, who's out there that can help us do more? Then we start build up structure around people, not just around project. It wasn't about working harder anymore at that point. It was about building the right system and trusting others to take ownership.
So you mentioned about the word system, where a lot of tradies or builders or people in this industry, they do think about building the team for the bigger job around the project. But your thinking is to build the people around the people to empower them and build a system in place. So can you give us a bit more detail, like what inspired you on that and what kind of model or formula are you trying to learn from someone, or what books or course inspire you to do so?
So I would say it's always about people. So you can have the best system in the world, but if your people don't buy into the value or the mission, it won't work. For me, it was about lead by example and showing respect and having that problem-solving mentality. So we have SOP for onboarding. We do regular performance review, and we make sure that everyone knows what an outstanding job and great customer experience look like, right? So, and also like accountability is important. No one respects a leader who blame others when things goes wrong. As a leader, we need to take charge and own the situation. Instead of pointing fingers, you have to ask yourself, how can you do better next time? Whether that's through communicate more clearly, giving better instructions, or learning more skills. So system, it is important, right?
I do remember that Lee actually go to a lot of courses. You read a lot of books on your bookshelf, and a lot of traditional tradie, they probably after Friday, they'll be like, we joke about pen talk Friday night. They just go to the bar, enjoy it. But what's your motivation that you want to do more, you want to achieve more? You don't want to take rest on Friday night and over the weekends still go out and study?
Because when I started, I thought like, growing means that, like being hardest workers on site and then taking on more jobs. And the work ethic is also important as well. And then, but those things can limit you from growing. Like for us to grow, we need to constantly have a mentality of learning new things, right? And then getting the advice from the people who has done what we want to do, and not doing everything on ourselves. We also have to like find a team that can help us to achieve our vision. So it is about a little bit about everything, but I'm also like you, like always very proactive of learning new things, going to the events or the seminars, and just try to learn everything you can of the people who has done what you want to do, right? So that's quite important to me as a company, also personal as well.
Just for everyone's information, in Melbourne, in the construction industry, we always joke that in the plastering sector, it's dominated by people from China and in particular Fujian or Dongbei, where it's a team of family, cousin bring the uncle, and on that family operated small team, not as such large scale. So share us with your story, like what's your migrant story and what's your parents' expectation on you?
So I came here when I was 17.
Yeah.
At that time, people from my city always want to make money and sending money home because growing up in a poor family, below the middle class, so where I come from, the parents always expecting you just, maybe not pursue your further study. You just literally sending money home and then build a house and then living back in China happily ever after.
That's Fujian in China?
That's their mentality.
Yeah.
But
and everyone's building a French prevention.
Yeah. So I grew up a little bit differently, also because I was interacting with the different peoples who has different visions and different goals. So because I surround myself with goal-oriented people, so what I want in life is a little bit more, and
so
the vision is always bigger.
Choose the different circle of friends.
Yes, it's very important for me because I have a lot of people come around similar time with me, and how I grow up compared to them is very different because your surroundings is super important. Your proximity and then who you can interacting, who you can learning from is so important. Another similarity, I'm with you as well, but I think
also
you are a lot more proactive. Yes. So yeah,
different industry.
Definitely surround yourself with people who has a similar mindset, and yeah, that's really important.
Is your parents happy with your achievement now?
They're super proud.
Yeah.
So what they wanted from me in the beginning, we literally had a fight over what should I do because this is my life, and there are a lot of parents just like my parents who want the different things for their kids, but they don't know as well as you because you need to take charge of your own life, right? So if you have a goal in mind, don't listen to the naysayers, even though they're your parents.
Yeah.
So now they completely changing their mind, and then they feel like they're blessed that they were able to come here by me sponsoring them as well, and then we can live together because I'm single child as well.
Yeah.
It is good to have your parents around you.
Likewise,
so you can look after them and they can look after us.
So
as well.
what's that biggest fight about? Like where they want you to go back or they want you?
I think the vision is a little bit shorter. They just want the finance. They just want the money to be sending back and then me having a better life in China. But it's not the case. It's not something that I wanted when I was a kid. So this is something that we fight about back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you're trying to convince them you can look after yourself here, you can look after them here.
I convince them that I can have a really good life here. I can set up maybe a good business here, and then eventually taking care of them. You know how hard it is to live in China if you don't have a good connection these days.
Yep.
So I think here is much better choice.
In Australia, everyone had a fair chance
I
to
think so.
pursue their dream and goals. And just FYI, Lee just got married lately, with a beautiful wife, and hopefully the baby's on the way soon. All right.
Yeah, that's our next goal.
Yep.
Yes.
So talk about from 2 people to 150 people to 200. So what's the hardest breakthrough? Like, is it to a point where you recruit 7 or 20 people, you find that you start losing the staff, you start losing the place, there's no order, and then you need to set an SOP. So share us with some of the journey, if you remember, what's the hardest numbers to break through in terms of staff management?
So our biggest growing pain was letting go of that hands-on control, right? When I started, I was used to know all the details in the job. But when you scale up, you have to trust your team leaders to set up middle control. And it was really difficult for us in the beginning because we felt like we were giving away part of ourselves. Because you always feel insecure of trusting others to do all the work. You expect them to do just as good job as you do. So one story come to mind was that we were just landed a multi-million-dollar project. And we were excited and nervous and quickly brought on more subcontractor at that time and thought, we're flying now. But within a few weeks, the cracks started to show. One team didn't follow the specification. Another team couldn't keep up the program, right? And our clients got really disappointed at the time. And we literally had to be on the phone nonstop, try to fix everything ourselves. And that was a turning point. We realized that we don't have system. We just have more people doing more work. And it wasn't until we sat down and said, right, how do we break this down into repeatable and autonomous steps? Then we start build out checklist and set up communication channels.
So share us with what's the structure of your team at the moment? So you have subcontractor on the sides, apparently. But what about the back office here? The finance, the contract admin, perhaps the CFO, project manager, and all that. What's the structure of your team at the moment?
So at the moment, we got a bookkeeper / accountant, and 2 estimator and contract administrator. And I work in and out as a director, but I also have a business partner who deal with human resources, mainly got to do with hire the site foremen and subcontractors. So we have a lot of teams that has a team leaders with maybe 10 to 20 people, and we have multiple teams. So we got maybe about 10 to 12 site foremen now to managing across the site, and then we are about to promote one particular site foreman as our construction manager to overseeing all the safety issues and then the quality checkers as well.
So that's what you mean by building the people around the people, rather than more contractors on the job, but then they're losing the organizational direction or someone holding them accountable.
So by having different role across the company, so each role has very specific expectation and different kind of task that they need to perform in order to lay out the clear vision for everyone to see, so they know who to ask the questions when it comes to certain concerns or issues. So we make it very clear. That's why we create that SOPs, that we want to educate our people, do a regular training. We may have monthly gathering just to go through the main SOP points with the team leaders and site foremen. And once they are clear on what our expectations are, they can educate to their boys, because we can't gather 200 people every time we have meeting. So you just try to spread the message as much as we could and as clear as we could as well.
If you have some photo about that, biggest meeting you have here, and send us some photo, we can cut into B-roll.
I would say, because we're gonna have a Christmas party next Saturday, So I would love to invite you guys to come here, and I think it's going to be good for you guys because a lot of our workers are looking to do financing as well. So
we can also interview like the staff, like a testimonial. Hey, how many years you've been with this company? You know, what's your growth? What's your journey? You know, why you're so happy to be here for 5 years, 10 years? That's a good speaking as well. So, so speaking about business partners, right? How do you feel like you can achieve this without a business partner? Or a lot of business partner fight, but you have the same business partner more than 10 years now. Of course, I imagine you guys fight as well, but you guys still work together. Would you mind share a bit about how do you choose the business partner and how do you guys come across this far?
So in the beginning, I have tried to make another person my business partner. At that time, it didn't work out because we have a lot of things in a different page. But the current business partner he's also my best friend for maybe 17 years. So we were best friends before we become partner. And
so you have the trust in place.
We have a trust, we have the friendship, and we know each other's personality. And we do also have clashes sometimes. We just had a fight like probably 3 days ago, but that was a debate over something that is beneficial for the company. We're just having different opinions, right? But it is important to have a partner that share the same vision, and then constantly contribute the value towards the company, right? And then that's what we do as partners.
So the argument is different version, the argument is different vision for the company, but both of your solution is benefiting the company.
It is.
Either or. So rather some of the partnership argument is more the benefit to them. I want a bigger pie or not.
Yeah.
Right? So so what tell us about this. So what's the thing that you have that your business partner don't have? And what's the thing that he doesn't have, but you have?
I'll say he's more on the vision side, right? But implementing and taking action side will be like, I'll be in charge of that.
Yeah.
Right? He will give me a ballpark of where we need to go, but just don't know how to do it. But I literally had to work out the steps, how we can do it. And then also, how can we do it to through the process of minimizing the risk as well, right? So his idea is just do it, but don't consider the consequences. But for me, I had to work out the clear vision of how to do those.
So you mentioned there was another partner potentially at the very beginning, and now you think back, is that the right choice, or that one could be better? Or
oh no, that's why we didn't go ahead to become partner. We were at the stage of talking to be a partner, to be joint venture, become partners. But because of the early signs that things didn't work out, and then we didn't proceed as a partner.
Sure. Yeah. So Lee, your company is very multicultural, and in the construction industry in Australia, it's very, very multicultural. Like for example, we always joke that plastering occupied by the Chinese, tiling occupied by the Korean, concrete occupied by the old Italian, So and your culture, your company's culture is also very multicultural, bilingual. I believe that it's not just the Chinese staff, but also the non-Chinese speaking staff. So can you share us a bit about the multicultural communication, leadership? How do you manage different staff with different cultural background? Do they have clashes? How do you get them to work together?
So our main guys is really just Chinese and Malaysians. And we also, hire people based on their personality and how positive they are, right? And then how respectful they are. And we make it clear that, if they want to stay in the company long term, positivity has to be there. And we don't allow, people swear on site, right? If they, or someone who swears, we will encourage them to change their habit over time.
So you don't allow them to swear on the sites?
Yeah,
This is like, this is like a common practice in the industry.
Yes.
If things
It
hadn't
is.
been done well, it's like, what the F, they would just come F word or just come all across. So how do you manage to get them not to swear on the side? You're not there.
You know how construction workers can be like? Because when you're swearing and say something bad about people, even sometimes behind people's back, you really drag people down, right? But when you stay positive and focus on solving problems, it lifts others up. You also create a better environment for others to have a more productive and enjoyable day. And when people are happier, they are usually easier to work with and manage, right? And yeah, so yeah, positivity is really important to us.
This is actually the first time I heard a company's director or partner asking all the staff, not to swear on the sides. Maybe, and for construction industry, and focusing on solving the problem rather than blaming. So when people express their word negatively, they probably start to blaming others or blaming themselves rather than focusing on the situation.
Yeah, that's how we select our leaders as well. Because if you stay positive, you actually lift others up around you, right? You need to use positivity to affecting people who are negative, who are problem blamers. We need the people who stand out and be the leader, being positive, and be transparent about the expectations, all that.
So Lee, tell me this, like even people from Malaysia, Malaysian Chinese, or mainland China, because the country is too big and the cultural background are also very different. And some of them speak dialect, some of them speak Mandarin, some of them speak English. So do they have any language barrier among the team? Or maybe they speak multi-language, but there's a preferred language, right? So what's the language they use for communication?
Communication, because Malaysians speak multi-language. They are the most talented multi-language speaker among Asian countries. So one of our bookkeeper cannot read in Chinese, but we integrate with the ChatGPT these days. She can just translate and record our bookkeeping side, all the communication channels. She can translate into that too, and but main communication challenge was for the site formers usually when they try to sending out the emails to the builders, to our clients. Often the English is not 100%, but we also integrate with the AI just to sharpen the language, make it more professional and respectful, and more proactive as well. So the AI tool has been very, very beneficial for our site formers, and it actually empowers them to feel more confidently when they communicate with the others, especially on site, because we only need the site foreman to communicate on behalf of our subcontractors. So I think it's more the mindset. So your staff, even though they don't speak Mandarin, but they don't feel like left behind, they can still make friends with other colleagues and make themselves feel comfortable. Where I'm not sure about you, but my company struggle when we have different cultural background staff. So at the very beginning, it's all Mandarin speaking, and then later on we do have younger Australian-born Chinese generation where they can speak Chinese, but they cannot read Chinese. And then later on, we have people from India, people from Pakistan. We have people born here, raised here, like white Caucasian. And some of them came and left because they don't feel culture adaptive. They feel like a minority group in a Chinese Australian company in Australia. But we even now have lucky enough to have some staff, pure Caucasian or born here, can't speak Chinese at all. But they feel like part of the team. They even though they can't understand sometimes the other staff speaking Mandarin, but they either leave them alone or try to participate in jokes, make themselves part of the team. I think it's very hard to recruit someone where they feel like they're a smaller minority of the group, but they can fit into the bigger part of the team. So Lee, if your company mainly can speak Mandarin, why you want to make the SOP also have an English version and bilingual? Can you share us with a bit about that? The boys and girls that we hire from Malaysians, they some of them cannot read Chinese. So I had to create both copies. for everyone essentially. My partner need to read that in Chinese, but often when I have a different opinion with my partner, because his English is not 100%, so I have literally had to write something down and just to create a vision that I want to convert into the text, so he can see the message I want to convey, and he can also be on the same page as I am, right?
It took my company 3 years of habit to make our official written language in English.
Okay.
But we have to communicate with the banks in English anyway. But we just get used to ask questions in Mandarin in the group chat. But whereas other non-Mandarin speaking staff cannot understand. But now we have a press one button, translate very accurately.
Yes.
But still, it took us 3 years to emphasize when we type in English. Most of the staff now do. So Lee, share us a bit about the vision and core value about your company. Off the book now, can you remember?
Vision and the core value. That's good questions.
Do you need the book?
Hey?
Do you need the book?
No, I don't need a book.
Yeah.
So I have a personal goal and the business goal, right? So like in the next 5 to 10 years, my personal goal is to have more personal time, be able to travel more with my family and spend more time networking just like you, yeah? But then I want the company to be in the automation with a strong system in place and capable leaders step into directorship role. My job is to helping those individuals to become shareholders. So by then, it will not just be my company anymore. It will be our company, because I want to promote people who are on the same wavelength as we are. And if they can become a joint partner down the track, we want to help them to get there. So our company's vision is always about helping others. Whether you're part of the team or one of our clients, we would like everyone who works with us to grow, to win, and to prosper. But ultimately, the vision is to create an independent and automated ecosystem, one that creates the opportunity for our people and make positive impact to our community.
So in saying that, does it mean that a lot of your senior manager can have shares in the company? So they're more self-motivated rather than, they'll bring the team to be your competitors in future.
We have a lot of leaders and site foremen who are very, very driven, and that conversation has been brought up multiple times as well. We want to giving out shares. Sometimes we probably have to make the company very valuable for them to buy into the share as well. But it is worthwhile to buy, to invest in the company as well, to be able to grow within the company. They will make more money down the track, and they will get motivated and incentivized long term that way,
so
right?
It's about having a skin in the game. So they put the money to buy the shares, they value the company shares, and then it's about long-term incentive. So
it is the ultimate goal that you want to create a company to a point that you can sell the company or part of the company, and people who buy the shares can making a lot more money than just the day-to-day works. Yep.
I'll take a step back about quality control and letting go. A lot of entrepreneurs actually struggle when they just started. They couldn't let go. They the subject matter expert. So now, are you happy with the quality of the site work, and who's looking after the quality? What's the standard? Is your clients happy?
Right now, we're very happy.
Yeah.
We are very happy is because our clients keep giving us the feedback on this is the best quality job that we have ever seen. And then every time there's a new construction team visiting the site, and then they will often ask who's the plasterer for this job site.
And they want the referral.
Not only they want a referral, they want to quickly book us into the next job, because the quality direct impact their future winnings as well. So we want to be the company who, when it comes to quality, we want to do it above and beyond. Sometimes we don't have to spend extra time on certain things, but we make sure they do, just to give them that extra push to make it stand out. And because we have a really good system in place, where we can keep everyone on the same page. We clearly lay out the quality expectation towards everyone. And then when we speak to the team leaders, and we make sure that they pass on all the expectation towards their workers. So it is important to be on the same page across board, right? So by putting everything on writing, also bilingual in Chinese for people to understand it, and then having a regular meeting and training, it will actually make the life a lot easier. So
everyone got a chance to share the mistake, share the good tips.
Yes.
And then the quality doesn't lose the standard when you have a bigger team and scale it.
Yes. Communication is very important. We often have to say, why this is what is like that. Why this one is not as good as the other job. So we share the feedbacks, and then we try to improve as a whole team.
So tell us a bit about how you're getting the clients from. So your size is growing. Are you turning away the smaller jobs? How do you get and select your customer now?
So we are very proactive on cold calling, and there's a tender website where everyone can put their best quotation forward, and so we use those tender site as our initial steps. Once we work out the outside quotation, we will call calling, call emailing, try to be proactive, right? Once we get that initial interaction and tell them that we're actually providing values, because sending out quotation, they can have a compare quotation. They can compare the quote to, in order to get the best subcontractors. But when we do the cold calling, we always emphasize what kind of value that we can bring to them, and give them the reference from our other jobs. So that's how we closing the sales, through that process.
For someone who haven't tried your service before, what's their mentality to choose? Are they looking for the cheapest quote, or what's your cost among the range? Are you the most expensive one because you have a experience and good team, or are you trying to win the prize by the lowest quotes?
So our selling points is always targeting their pain point.
Yeah.
With the construction industry these days, there's a lot of company under administration, or they are struggling with the cash flows, right? And when they're struggling financially, the quality goes downhill. And then if we point out the pain point that our clients are facing, and another pain point for them is whether they can supply enough resource on site to achieve the construction program. So by pointing out all the pain point, they can feel it emotionally, and that's how we're able to close the sales, right? Because we got all the foundation for either resource or financially. We're financially stable. We got about 200 subcontractors under our belt, and we can push the program a lot faster for them. So either we point out the pain point, or we point out the value that we can bring to them, and that usually will help them to decide pretty quickly of who to go for.
So having a very comprehensive team now, does it mean that your quote is more expensive than others, or?
Well, I mean, we definitely have more overhead, but because of our system, we are actually more efficient and competitive, right? We can leverage bulk material purchasing with a cheaper price. We can streamline workflows and personalize team. So in many cases, it means we can be more competitive by reducing waste and delays. So bigger team doesn't necessarily mean that we are more expensive. It often means that we are delivering more values than just the cost.
So it's more efficient, more quality control.
Absolutely.
And more assurance as well for the clients.
I have one client once said to me, they almost didn't choose us because they thought we are too expensive. But after we delivered the job, he rang me up intentionally and said, not only we are affordable, but we are the most organized company that they have ever dealt with. And we're not reinventing the wheels on every job, right? Our system allows us to be fast, efficient, and consistent. And that really keep our costs competitive and quality high.
So it means, okay, oh good. So that covers the job. Okay, I want to ask this question. So Lee, what's the percentage of your client now that is repeat customer and new customer?
Repeat customer take majority of percentage. I would say maybe 80%. I would say most of the builders' feedback is that we literally are the top three, like subcontractor. Whenever they have a subcontractor performance review, we are always ranking on the top three. And it is important for us to have the repeat customer because that's the best customer you can have, right? So yeah, so 20% will be our new customer, and we are very proactive of approaching new customer in our system as well.
Yeah, so that's scaling the business. You know, you have 80% repeat clients. That's a very big bulk, and then you're still actively looking for new tendering jobs, that 20%, and trying to retain the new clients as your loyal repeat clients. And then that will enable you to keep recruiting and expanding the team. So what's the end goal here, Lee? Is that 1,000 subcontractor, 500? What's the end goal? Go public, or go to different trades? What's the next game?
Next is really, like I said before, we want to promote different capable leaders into directorship role, and we'd love to expand into different states as well. I had quite a number of friends who are already taking big contract into different states. They already have a good foundation in terms of human resources. So if we can combine different expertise and different values into, building the future company together, we may be able to find different partners over different states. So yeah, ultimately it's just to expand different states and having different customer base across the nation.
Interstate sounds very challenging for construction and building industry.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tradies. They're very local connected. They live locally, so they can keep the cost low. And also the supplies cost is limited by distance because of transportation costs. So what's the logic and the incentive behind for you to expand interstate?
So most of our boys are willing to travel as long as that they can have a good contract deals. They can be incentivized by that. But we also have a really good networking. Like you said, majority of the plastering sector are dominated by the Chinese. So we are actually everywhere, right? And because we have a strong network, I also have quite a few number of friends already have a good foundation, have a good companies set up with different kind of resource in place. So we are able to interacting with them, and then perhaps to set up different kind of joint venture together to expand into different kind of tier projects. So that would be our upside, our advantage.
So I'm trying to imagine, that means that you're going to bring the team, say for example, to Sydney, get a big commercial job, and then you're going to hire the accommodation for them. And it's very often that I heard a lot of Chinese tradies, they in order to catch the deadline of the job, they sleep on the side, they sleep close to the side, they hide some places in order to get the job done. So that's very often.
When we have project in the regional area, we do have to hire the accommodation for the boys, but I don't think that sleeping on site is a common for our company. I'm not sure where that rumor come from, but we don't really do
not your
no.
company, other people's company.
Yeah, if it's a residential site, potentially there's an allowance or there's not such a rule, because when you go to commercial site,
residential site, yes,
they have more monitoring system, and that what can be allowed.
Yeah, or even some commercial office.
Yeah.
That's another. So Lee, for a lot of young builders and young traders who step into the industry, who also ambitious like you, dream about scaling up, What's the advice one piece of advice you can potentially to give them?
Well, my biggest piece of advice would be investing in yourself, right? Always have desire to learn new things. Get out of your comfort zone and taking actions. You always need to learn from the people who has done what you want to do, and people who are successful are most likely going to point you to the right direction, right? If you ask the questions. So don't do everything on your own. Find a team that can help you achieve your vision. A team not only can support you, but also challenge you, right? Build a system early, even though when you're small. If you can build a team over a long period of time, that team could also be your biggest asset.
Lee, do you have a mentor or coach in place along the years and now?
I really just learned a bunch of stuff online. These days you got podcasts, you got YouTube, you got different kind of experts into different areas. Just
share some, who's your favorite YouTuber and podcast?
Right, so in the beginning it was Grant Cardone. He is a big inspiration. And later days I listened to a lot with Dan Mattel. He shared a lot of things, the insight about AI and company structures. Back then when I was listening to Grant, he was emphasized on sales, property investment, and motivation. So those content, I find it really connect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last question, Lee. If you go back to time, when you come to Australia in 17, the time 18 years ago, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? That's a good question. When I choose this plastering trade, it wasn't by the choice, it was by the chance. But if you can find yourself a potential to grow within different career path, I would say be persistent with it. Don't give up just because you don't like it. If that career has a high ceiling, I would say stay with it and be persistent. And if you can learn and grow within it and having a business ultimately, then be persistent.
So rather than some young people changing industry or jobs every 2 years, and they never break through the ceiling of 200K income per year, rather get deep down into the industry, looking after your people, listen to the pain point from the customer and the staff, and even put everything down in SOP. That's quite amazing. I need to go back this holiday and smash out my SOP like this. All right, thank you very much, Lee.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.